Anger begins as a natural human emotion, a surge of energy that signals something feels wrong or unfair. It can rise quickly, often before we fully understand why. This emotional fire is not always harmful. It can protect boundaries and push for change. However, when left unchecked, it can damage relationships, decisions, and mental peace. Understanding anger is the first step toward controlling it. Because what we recognize, we can reshape, and what we reshape, we can eventually master. When anger rises, the brain shifts into a reactive state. The emotional center, often called the amygdala, becomes highly active, while rational thinking temporarily weakens. This is why people say things they later regret. The brain prioritizes survival over logic, even in non-dangerous situations. Learning to pause allows the thinking part of the brain to regain control. With practice, this pause becomes a powerful tool, turning impulsive reactions into thoughtful responses that align with long-term goals. Anger rarely appears without a cause. It is usually linked to triggers shaped by past experiences. These triggers can be words, actions, or even memories that activate emotional responses. Over time, patterns develop, making reactions feel automatic. Recognizing these patterns is essential for change. When you identify what consistently sparks anger, you begin to separate the present moment from past pain. This awareness creates space for new responses, helping you break cycles that once felt impossible to escape. Before anger becomes visible in words or actions, the body signals its arrival. Muscles tighten, the heart beats faster, and breathing becomes shallow. These physical signs are early warnings, offering a chance to intervene. Ignoring them allows anger to build until it overflows. Paying attention to the body creates an opportunity to calm the system before emotions escalate. Techniques like slow breathing and relaxation can interrupt the process, turning a rising storm into a manageable wave. Many people believe anger gives them power, a sense of control over situations or others. In reality, uncontrolled anger often leads to the opposite effect: loss of control. It narrows perception, limits empathy, and pushes people away. True control comes not from expressing anger loudly, but from directing it wisely. When you choose how to respond instead of reacting instantly, you gain real influence over outcomes. This shift transforms anger from a destructive force into a guided and purposeful energy. Thoughts play a crucial role in shaping anger. Interpretations like unfair treatment, disrespect, or rejection can intensify emotional responses. Often, these thoughts are automatic and unchallenged. By questioning them, you weaken their power. Asking whether a situation is truly as negative as it seems can change emotional intensity. This does not mean ignoring problems, but viewing them more clearly. Balanced thinking creates emotional stability, reducing unnecessary anger and allowing more thoughtful and constructive reactions to take place. Anger needs expression, but not all forms of expression are healthy. Suppressing anger can lead to internal stress, while explosive expression can harm others. The goal is balanced expression, where feelings are acknowledged and communicated calmly. Speaking with clarity and respect allows anger to be heard without causing damage. This approach builds understanding rather than conflict. Learning how to express anger effectively is a skill, one that transforms emotional energy into communication that strengthens rather than breaks connections. One of the most effective tools in anger control is the pause. It may seem simple, yet it creates a powerful gap between feeling and action. In that gap lies the ability to choose. Taking a few seconds to breathe, step back, or remain silent can prevent regretful reactions. This pause trains the mind to resist impulsive behavior. Over time, it becomes a habit, allowing you to respond with intention rather than emotion, and turning moments of tension into opportunities for control. Taking responsibility for anger means recognizing that while triggers exist, reactions are still a personal choice. Blaming others keeps anger alive, while ownership allows growth. This perspective shifts power inward, encouraging self-awareness and accountability. When you accept that your response is within your control, change becomes possible. It is not about denying feelings, but about guiding them. This mindset builds emotional strength, helping you navigate challenging situations without losing control over your behavior or your sense of self. Anger can become a habit, repeated so often that it feels automatic. Changing this requires consistent effort and patience. Each time you respond differently, you weaken the old pattern and strengthen a new one. Small changes, like pausing, breathing, or reframing thoughts, gradually reshape behavior. Over time, these actions rewire the brain, making calm responses more natural. This process is not instant, but with persistence, it transforms anger from a dominating force into a manageable and controlled emotion. Anger often hides deeper emotions such as hurt, fear, or disappointment. It acts like a shield, protecting more vulnerable feelings from being exposed. Many people react with anger because it feels stronger than admitting pain. Understanding this layer changes everything. When you look beneath anger, you begin to see the real issue. Addressing the root emotion reduces intensity and brings clarity. This deeper awareness transforms reactions, allowing healing instead of conflict, and turning emotional chaos into meaningful understanding. Anger moves quickly, often faster than conscious thought. This speed creates impulsive reactions that feel automatic. Slowing down this process is key to control. Even a brief moment of awareness can interrupt the chain reaction. Practicing mindfulness helps extend this moment, giving the brain time to shift from reaction to reflection. Over time, this delay becomes natural, reducing emotional intensity. Slowing anger does not weaken you. It strengthens your ability to respond with intention rather than being controlled by emotion. Your surroundings influence how easily anger arises. Stressful environments, noise, pressure, or constant conflict can lower emotional tolerance. When the mind is already overwhelmed, even small triggers feel intense. Creating a calmer environment helps regulate emotional responses. This includes organizing your space, reducing unnecessary stress, and surrounding yourself with supportive people. A peaceful environment does not eliminate anger, but it reduces its frequency and intensity, making it easier to manage emotions before they grow beyond control. The words you use during anger shape its impact. Harsh or blaming language escalates conflict, while calm and clear communication reduces it. Learning to express feelings without attacking others is essential. Using simple, honest statements allows emotions to be understood without causing harm. This shift in language builds trust and encourages resolution. Over time, mindful communication becomes a powerful tool, transforming anger from destructive speech into a way of expressing needs and boundaries with clarity and respect. Uncontrolled anger carries real consequences, affecting relationships, health, and mental well-being. It can create distance between people, damage trust, and lead to regret. Physically, it increases stress, raises blood pressure, and exhausts the body. Recognizing these costs motivates change. When you see the impact clearly, anger no longer feels justified or harmless. Instead, it becomes something to manage carefully. Understanding its costs encourages responsibility, helping you protect both your inner peace and your connections with others. Emotional awareness is the ability to notice what you feel as it happens. This skill is essential for anger control. When you can name your emotions, you gain power over them. Instead of being overwhelmed, you become an observer of your own experience. This awareness creates space between feeling and reaction. Practicing this regularly strengthens emotional intelligence, allowing you to handle difficult situations with clarity. Over time, awareness becomes automatic, guiding your responses in a calm and balanced way. Calmness is not weakness. It is a form of strength that requires control and discipline. Staying calm during intense moments shows mastery over emotions. It allows you to think clearly, communicate effectively, and make better decisions. Calmness also influences others, often reducing tension in difficult situations. Developing this strength takes practice, but it creates lasting benefits. When you remain calm, you protect your energy, maintain your focus, and handle challenges without being overwhelmed by emotional reactions. How you interpret a situation affects how you feel. Reframing means changing your perspective to see things more clearly. Instead of assuming negative intent, you consider other possibilities. This reduces unnecessary anger and creates understanding. Reframing does not ignore problems. It places them in a balanced context. With practice, it becomes easier to shift perspective quickly. This skill transforms emotional reactions, allowing you to respond with logic and empathy, instead of being driven by assumptions and intense feelings. Anger control is not achieved overnight. It requires consistent practice and patience. Progress may feel slow, but each small step matters. There will be moments of success and moments of difficulty. What matters is persistence. Practicing techniques like breathing, pausing, and reframing builds new habits over time. Patience allows these habits to grow naturally. With dedication, emotional control becomes stronger, and reactions become more balanced. This journey is not about perfection, but about steady improvement and growth. At the core of anger control is the ability to choose how you respond. While you cannot always control what happens around you, you can control your reaction. This choice defines your behavior, your relationships, and your peace of mind. Each moment offers an opportunity to respond with awareness instead of impulse. Making this choice repeatedly strengthens self-control. Over time, it becomes a natural way of living, allowing you to face challenges with confidence, clarity, and emotional balance. Anger carries strong energy. It pushes the body into action and heightens awareness. This energy is not always negative. It can be redirected into something useful. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can channel it into problem-solving, exercise, or focused work. When guided properly, anger becomes a source of motivation rather than destruction. Learning to manage this energy helps you stay productive and in control, transforming intense emotions into actions that create positive and meaningful outcomes. Anger often follows a repeating loop: trigger, reaction, and result. This loop becomes automatic over time, making reactions feel inevitable. Breaking the loop requires awareness at each stage. When you notice the trigger, you can pause before reacting. Changing even one part of the loop creates a different outcome. With repetition, the brain forms new patterns. Understanding this cycle gives you the ability to interrupt old habits and replace them with healthier, more controlled responses. Lack of sleep lowers emotional control and increases irritability. When the mind is tired, patience becomes limited, and reactions become sharper. Small problems feel bigger, and anger rises more easily. Prioritizing rest improves emotional stability and decision-making. A well-rested mind handles stress with greater ease and clarity. Good sleep is not just physical recovery, it is emotional balance. By taking care of your rest, you strengthen your ability to manage anger and respond calmly in difficult moments. Breathing is a simple yet powerful tool for calming anger. When emotions rise, breathing becomes fast and shallow. Slowing it down sends a signal to the body that it is safe. Deep, steady breaths reduce tension and help the mind regain focus. Practicing controlled breathing regularly builds resilience against stress. In moments of anger, this technique can quickly shift your state. It creates a pause, allowing you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting without control. Anger, when uncontrolled, can harm relationships deeply. Words spoken in anger often leave lasting marks, even after apologies. Repeated outbursts create distance and weaken trust. Learning to manage anger protects the people around you. Calm communication strengthens understanding and builds respect. Healthy relationships depend on emotional control. When you handle anger wisely, you create a safe space for connection. This not only improves your relationships, but also brings stability and harmony into your life. Everyone experiences moments where anger gets the better of them. These moments are not failures. They are opportunities to learn. Reflecting on what happened helps you understand triggers and reactions more clearly. Instead of feeling regret, focus on growth. Each mistake provides insight into how you can respond differently next time. This mindset turns setbacks into progress. Over time, learning from experience strengthens your ability to manage anger and handle situations with greater awareness. Empathy reduces anger by helping you understand others' perspectives. When you consider what someone else might be feeling or experiencing, your reaction softens. This does not mean you agree with everything, but it creates space for understanding. Empathy shifts focus from conflict to connection. It encourages calm responses instead of defensive reactions. Developing this skill improves communication and reduces tension. With empathy, anger loses intensity, and interactions become more thoughtful and respectful. Having healthy ways to release anger is essential. Physical activity, creative expression, or talking to someone you trust can help process emotions. These outlets prevent anger from building up inside. Instead of suppressing or exploding, you release energy in a controlled way. Finding what works best for you creates balance. Regularly using these outlets keeps emotions manageable. This approach supports long-term emotional health and reduces the chances of anger becoming overwhelming. Real change in anger control comes from consistency. Practicing small techniques every day builds strong habits over time. Even simple actions, like pausing before speaking or taking deep breaths, make a difference when repeated. Consistency strengthens the brain's ability to stay calm under pressure. Progress may be gradual, but it is lasting. With steady effort, emotional control becomes natural. This consistency transforms how you respond to challenges, making calmness your default rather than anger. Mastering anger does not mean eliminating it. It means understanding and guiding it. Anger becomes one of many emotions, not the one in control. With awareness, practice, and patience, you gain the ability to respond with clarity and strength. This mastery improves every part of life, from relationships to personal growth. It brings a sense of inner peace and confidence. When you control your anger, you do not just manage emotion, you take control of your actions and your future. Anger is a natural emotion, but it does not have to control your actions or define your life. When you begin to understand its triggers, patterns, and deeper causes, you gain the ability to manage it with awareness and intention. Simple practices like pausing, breathing, and reframing thoughts can create powerful change over time. Consistency and patience are key, as emotional control develops gradually through effort and reflection. True strength lies not in reacting instantly, but in choosing your response wisely. By guiding anger instead of suppressing it, you protect your relationships, improve your decisions, and build lasting inner peace, clarity, and emotional balance.